Hi, it's Helen Godden here, and I'm so glad you're joining me for my 10th Christmas Countdown Quiltalong. This is our 10th. 2025, we've been doing this for 10 years, so I've managed to come up with a 10th design. I really had to dig deep for this one, so I'll show you what we've got. It's a peace dove. So we've got a dove surrounded by areas that will be where we quilt into, and the dove is carrying a branch of greenery, a symbol of hope. I think this is pretty universal for most people. This would be our wish for this Christmas. So the first job we need to do is to put our calico on top. Now, calico or muslin, whatever you want to call it, but it's very basic cotton fabric. You can see it's slightly creamy in colour. But the reason I use this is that with our Sharpie pens, which just makes this project very easy to get on with, it doesn't bleed because of the starch or the sizing in the fabric. The Sharpie pen won't bleed when we use it. Now, if you want to use paint, Inktense pencils, Caran d'Ache crayons, any other form of embroidery, applique, anything you want to do with this project, I'm perfectly happy with. But what I demonstrate is the simplest way for you to get started with this project at home with absolute minimal equipment and requirements. Okay, so even if you've only got a black Sharpie, that's fine as well. But otherwise, I've got my 3 colours here. Now, because it's a muslin, it's very easy to trace. The design is visible without even turning my light box on. I can clearly see that design quite easily through the paper. So I'm going to start with some tracing. So this is what you'll need to do. So you'll print out this design from my website, helengodden.com, and look for Christmas Countdown Quiltalong 2025, and you'll find it. And I'm going to trace around, pressing nice and firmly with that pen and not staying in one spot for too long, because it will start to bleed that little bit. But if it does bleed, it's okay, because it's consistently bleeding on your piece. Consistency, that's all we're ever looking for, folks. So you can see I'm using a nice firm hand. I'm not hesitating. So if you wanted to trace this first with your friction pen or with a pencil and then go over it later, that would also work. But I'm just cutting to the chase and going straight in with my Sharpie. Now I'm only outlining the bird itself. Okay, carefully looking at those shapes and outlining the bird, the dove. Because around it I will use other colours. Now, as I said, if you've only got the one colour, even blue would look nice, like a dark blue would look nice for the bird if you had like a dark blue Sharpie and not a black or whatever. Oh, I've added a little curl there just because I love curls. So I'm just tracing this. Right, so that's all the bird. And then I'm going to swap over to the green for the leaf. Copyright free Christmas music, copyright free Christmas music. I don't want to pay for Christmas music, copyright free Christmas music. My Sharpie is just about running out. I might need a new green Sharpie, but it's going to give me a soft green colour, so I'm okay with that. If I put this Sharpie down and came back to it in another minute, it would be a little bit refreshed, but I'm pretty happy with this softer green. And then I'm going to come back in and go over that. And now I've got the red, and that's going to be the echo, the outline around all these shapes, and it will make the framework for the background areas. So it's an echo going around. Copyright free Christmas music, copyright free Christmas music. I don't want to pay for Christmas music, copyright free Christmas music. So you can see here in the design when I've come up to these flowing lines, I've done them in one movement of the hand because it does make for a better result. So now I'm following around all these lines, which are what are making the divisions for us for our quilting, kind of reminiscent of a stained glass window, if you like. Again, those lines go all the way out to there. You can see how I change the angle of my hand sometimes. You could rotate the actual fabric, and that's why I've got it pinned to the paper. So you could actually, rotate the whole thing, but I'm not doing that just because I want it to stay, on camera for you guys. So you can see it looks much better when you can try and get that into one sweeping movement. Trying to demonstrate it, says Helen. Right, and now I am going to use a ruler, even though in my classes I'm like, don't use a ruler. I am going to use a ruler here just to help get that nice edge so that we know where the end of our quilting is. There we go. So that is the design traced. And as I say, I've just used my black, my green and my red. My stitching is going to be predominantly the red. But now we're ready to start on December 1st. So that's all you need to do to get started. You'll then just sandwich the piece up. So putting in a piece of just thin batting, whatever you've got, it doesn't really matter, just a light coloured batting because this is light coloured fabric, and then a backing. It could be Christmas fabric or anything you've got left over, and then say about 6 or 8 safety pins just to secure the sandwich together, and then we're ready to go to the sewing machine. So I'll see you on the 1st of December, ready to rock and roll with this year's piece dove design for our Christmas Countdown Quiltalong with Helen Godden. Yay! Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all on December 1st. Please share this with anyone that wants to join in the fun. I'm just going to visually check. Oh, see, I didn't need that bit there. Okay, oops. Right, okay, please note. That bit's not there, okay? That's okay. That's what makes it individual, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, so join me December 1st. It'll be announced on my Facebook group every day on Helen Godden Quilts, and then the video will also be available on my YouTube channel, Helen Godden Quilts, so that if you miss a couple of days, they're there to catch up on it. It won't disappear. It'll be there. It's only ever about a 2-minute video, so even if you miss a couple of days, come back and catch up. I've had so many people tell me that the little 5 minutes that we spend together on each day of December is the only thing that gets them through to Christmas because it's just that little time of something for yourself. And I've got a lot of you that have been doing this with me every year. So, that's pretty cool. So let's do it again this year with our Christmas Countdown Quiltalong. See you very soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Copyright free Christmas music, copyright free Christmas music. I don't want to pay for Christmas music, copyright free Christmas music.